let them scatter. Easy frags like they on the platter, up like a rooster, no sense of boosting. Don't play to win, just ask any loser. Ball on a budget, put C-types on my faction cruisers. I don't anchor up or do whack maneuvers, in my nightmares stand Freddy Krueger. New heights on my test flight, pulling up with my ex-type. Smoking weed, I got cess right. I don't know what that stress like. Can't see, I got sunspots. Couldn't warp, I got one shot. Waking up is my whole alarm ring in the night like gunshots. Kick rocks, best get to stepping. No logi on me, but I'm local reppin'. Aim to please when I load the weapon. Level 5, no injection. On me.
Which baby?
Just a bowl. Okay, let's write that screen. I'll be right back.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Never mind, if you want that bowl, I'm just going to put a plate in.
What are you gonna biscuit? Oh, your plates on the biscuits and the bowls.
Do you want a plate for here? Or do you just
I can just carry mine.
Okay.
Is that too much for you?
No.
Yeah.
Soup.
Thank you, my love. It looks delicious.
You're welcome. Makes me happy to feed you.
You do feed me well.
It's a nice feeling of love making lunches for you. Because I haven't done that in so long. That's something I have to put a bit of guilt over since I
You don't have to feel,
switched. No,
you don't have to feel guilty.
I know you can, but it was always a way that I showed, the way I show affection and love for you, and I don't do it anymore. The Hungarian thing, baby. We like it.
Keep your men fat and your cats fatter.
That is the way that my family expresses love, for sure.
I see.
Not necessarily in a bad way. I can serve you healthy food.
I know.
An unknown singularity-bearing cruiser piloted by Concorde agent Oveg Drust was discovered this afternoon in Ulai. Heavily damaged, the cruiser remained inert and the pilot unresponsive as Capsuleers attempted to scan, repair or in some cases destroy the mysterious ship. This is the first confirmed sighting of this hull configuration in New Eden, though the ship has been identified from drifter vault footage recovered over the last month by pilots from the Arataka Research Consortium. The technology base appears to have been a target for the Concorde Directive Intelligence Agency, which has associated it with its Case Red Gamma investigation into drifter threats. However, recovered footage seems to indicate these ships are being used by unknown forces hostile to the drifters. How a DED agent successfully recovered the cruiser is unknown. Concorde representatives have refused comment, though a Black Troop SWAT squadron is currently on site. This is Eleonore Roden reporting from Ulai for for the discourse.
Hello, I'm good. Are we live? Hang on, Meredith. Let me get your beautiful, beautiful face in here. Because I would want to not have your beautiful face.
It's the only way I feel full.
I mean, but do you?
No, I can never feel full.
Oh, hang on. I have to. You know what I figured out? I actually have to open Firefox with this thing. Otherwise, I cannot get your beautiful face.
The magic of workarounds.
It's just so weird to me because I use Chrome for everything. And it's like, no, we're not using these.
Did you like accidentally click once on Chrome and tell it, yeah, you can always do this?
No, it was like the first time I ever opened it up, and it was like 9. So let me do that. You want to start doing intro type things while I prepare the screenage?
Oh, we're calling this live? All right.
I mean, no, we don't have to call it live. We can call it whatever you want to call it.
Mind Clash scripted.
And take two. Oh, there you are.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mind Clash Podcast, episode 81. We're getting hyped about a gathering of fans.
Hype.
Perhaps a fan fest. We're not talking about PAX. We're talking about Eve Fanfest in Iceland. It's coming up this weekend. And, oh boy, looks like they got some surprises in store for us.
Do they?
Well, that's what it seems like. But we'll get into that in the middle of the... No, in the main topic. We'll talk about kind of the schedule for what we can expect from FanFest, and we'll get hyped about it.
I'm so hyped, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and start setting up the main screen, but hello, I am Kale Decadence. Of course, not our guest, but our super duper co-host with a beautiful face is Meredith. Don't get too close to the screen. My chroma key is making you look like a zombie. I don't know, it's really weird. Gotta fix that.
That's that unsatiable hunger.
Yeah, or you're like, you got that Santa Clarita diet going on.
It's low in calories.
That's true. And then, of course, we got our trusty Rusty sidekick, Orion Sisolo.
Yar.
Yar.
I will say, Murdad looks like he was in a fist fight there for a little bit.
Oh, maybe it's the lighting. As you can see, I actually rearranged my office just for this. So I have this nice, fancy green screen happening going on right now, and I don't have the extra table on the side there. I did it just for you people.
I just see you reaching off into space.
And actually, I'm quite disappointed because I usually have this the other part of the desk here, and I would have restfulness happening with my arm, and I don't have the restfulness, so I think I might get carpal tunnel. So you're also thank you for that.
You'll get better.
And then a returning favorite to the show is Commander Ace. Commander Ace, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Sandy, I'm gonna find your picture and put it on there because that'd be rude not to have it.
Give us your intro, A's.
So I'm the CEO of Sub-Zero within the Bastion Alliance within the Imperium. So I'm a Delve resident. I'm currently running for CSM, CSM 13. If anybody wants to take a look at my platform in more detail, it's available on the forums. There's probably about as much detail as you could possibly want about me on it. So.
Oh god,
Yeah,
the chroma key is going full nuts.
No, I'll fix. Don't worry, I'll fix it.
I'm scared. Well, it's great to have you here, Ace. As always.
It's always good to be here.
Ryan, what's going on with you this week? How have you been?
I'm doing all right. Real life has me getting ready to pick up a new job here, so I'll be kind of busy with that. But right now, currently buying some ships to stock our future play area.
Ah,
Yeah, congratulations on
Jesus,
your new
cat
job.
just scared the fuck out of me.
Cat terrorist.
Tackle that cat.
Freaked me out, man.
Oh, it's even chroma keyed slightly. Creepy cat.
Cat, stop.
Anyways, I'm still Meredith. I'm still with Iron Armada. We're back from our deployment to assist the drone regions in losing their space. That went just as expected. And other people, not necessarily losing their jobs, but relinquishing their jobs. We had, in Eve News this week, we had 2 notable departures from the CCP team. CCP Pointy Bits, who's from the art team, and CCP Quant, the statistician that has worked on Eve for a long time. They'll both be leaving the company. Which is sad
An
in a
interesting
way.
set of departures.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the initial, like, the temptation to roll into, like, Eve is dying, or these high-profile devs are leaving the team, but there was a lot of pushback from devs that we take a lot of note at who's leaving the company, but rarely put a lot of stock in who's joining the company, so...
I don't know that CCP does a very good job of announcing who's joining, as well as, we see the announcements for the people that are leaving, at least.
Well, I mean, the people who are announcing and leaving though are usually people who are kind of ingrained into like the knowledge of a lot of the people who look at CCP and the people involved with it. So it's we're gonna see those people and notice them more when they leave, not the people who come in, because we don't know them and they probably want to stay low until they have to make their mark via whatever social media or dev post they end up doing.
Very true, very true. Now, the 2 that are leaving are relatively pretty high profile, at least in terms of the community. So, like Quant being the data scientist, I'm really hoping to hear from CCP that they have somebody filling his shoes to make sure the MER keeps coming out and to continue kind of the data-based science to running and managing the game.
So there was a point on that in his post. He said that the monthly economic report, the MER, that some people love and cherish, will be taken over by CCP Larkin.
Oh, that'd be a good person for it.
Unfortunate that a high-profile dev that has a lot of stuff on their plate already probably now has another deliverable they must accomplish every month, but that's CCP. A lot of devs with a lot of hats.
I mean, well, that's just business. Even the military, you'll see a lot of that where if someone leaves a position, they hand you the stuff and say, "Good luck."
Yep, still gotta do the work, man. Someone's gotta do it.
Yep, that's just the nature of business.
Oh, hey,
And, Eve's been around a really long time, so
before we get too crazy with that, I just wanted to make a quick mention about the drink that I'm drinking tonight. This is my stout braggot that I made about a month back. It's a delicious dark honey beer. Delicious. It's also 14%, and I'm on my 2nd glass, so what's up?
That's more like a barley wine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking what's left of my U-Brew beer. Still
my
good.
brew?
Your brew will probably last longer than this stuff, so I have to drink this stuff.
Well, that sounds a lot better than the Gatorade that I found in my hotel fridge.
Well, I mean, was it open?
No.
No, it's fine.
Was it $7?
Oh God, right?
I was gonna say, yeah, if you bought that
It was an
Gatorade,
8 ounce. It was an
probably
8 ounce one.
$30.
Oh,
It's like one of those little tiny
I mean,
bottles. Oh, here's your shot of Gatorade for
considering the
$8.
agency's card is the one that's on the room, I'm hoping it's not a mini bar.
Your
It is
first
like the
host.
world's worst stocked one in the world ever.
We have 2 Gatorades, a bottle of vodka, and this Diet Pepsi.
For a grand total of $350.
So where are we? We're talking about the devs who left.
Quant and Pointy Bits.
I saw the thing that the 80-bit from Quant, but I didn't see anything from the Pointy Bit. Like, did he put like an official thingamajigger out?
I want to say it came out on Twitter.
Yeah, who tweets these days?
That's where all the news is.
I've managed to filter out a lot of the shenanigans, and it's mostly just Eve folks and CCP devs. As long as they're not posting a lot of just political stuff, I usually follow pretty closely.
I have the same curation placed on my Twitter, but it is amusing to see this week some of the players were running like a bot scanner across their friends lists and what they post, and it was funny to see that players like Matani and CCP Carker came up as bots.
Definitely bots. Hey, just real quick, check in the chat. I want to make sure everyone's voice levels are doing good. This is my second time running off of this stream set, just to make sure everyone is decently heard. I'm assuming so, because nobody's complained yet. You know how people are.
I know.
They're too busy putting on shades from the glare off your head.
Oh. Right. So speaking of glares and glaring issues, the chat issue had a hot fix. Did this fix all the chats?
Nope.
No, it didn't.
Still some problems. CCP is still asking for people to submit reports if you run into problems. There's still some shenanigans that can be pulled.
Yeah.
It is important to note that if you were, quote, banned from local, that if you continue to use that as a exploit to hunt people, you can and will receive a ban for that.
Then why don't they just unban them from local and they won't have the problem?
I mean, you would think that would be a pretty easy fix on their side, but there's still a couple people that are running into the
whatever
the
you do, don't touch that red button. Do not don't press that red button. Jeez.
I think it's a lot better though. I've noticed a lot. It's local will actually populate when people jump in at at the appropriate rate, not just everyone jumps in and 5 seconds later local starts to finally populate.
Yeah.
I've got a question. It's not so much having to do with chat, but as I'm looking right now on my screen, I noticed that the overview that I set up for one of my other characters, it is now the default overview for all my characters. I don't like that. Is there any way to not do that?
You could probably choose in the load or the launcher which default overview you want per account.
Is that a thing? That shouldn't be a thing. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing, but okay, thank you for that.
I think that's how it works.
What do you mean? You guys don't use the standard overview?
Yeah.
I can't. There's no way.
It's physically impossible to use that.
When I first joined, even pulled up that thing, I was like, "This is not something I can use."
A's, please take that to the CSM if you get there.
That would be the world's easiest thing. CCP, here's a player developed one. Just take this and make it the standard one for everybody right off the break, and we're done. Solved. Mission accomplished.
It doesn't even have to be one of the really amazing player-made ones. It could just be better. Just anything better.
And anything is better than the one that's there.
And before someone leaves something, what they would think is obviously important, and then there's just mass rage across Reddit and everything.
Oh yeah,
it's just how that works. A's is going to champion the War Deck project for us, right?
That's been my burning passion for the last When did I start this game? It's about since at minimum Crime Watch 2.0, Vortex have shown that they're just cancer, and something needs to change. It's come up in the last couple of CSMs as something that is a little bit more high profile. Hoping that we can make some changes, make some better content out of it than what we're seeing now.
Yeah, I was greatly unhappy with it personally, just recently.
I dumpstered a whole HiSec alliance and moved to Null instead of quitting Eve over it. So
Yeah, let's not quit Eve. You know why you shouldn't quit Eve? You shouldn't quit Eve because actually right now you can go ahead and go to the New Eden store and get a multi-character training certificate for 20% off. Did you guys know that? 20% off for MCT? This is a true story. So if you have an account with more than one character, and you're like, oh man, I really want to train some more skills, well, you can do that for 20% off. So I'm gonna go ahead and provide that link in the little chitty chat right now. We can all do that. We can all give CCP more money because they need it.
sounds like it's time to start training up a Faxalt.
Just more spy alts. Come on.
Oh, the spiles.
That's what all my alpha accounts are for.
All right, and this week also the MER from March came out. I actually saw this amusing stat. I don't know where they pulled their numbers from, but I'm just going to read it as is. Fake news involved. Taking the total mining value per region, which we know is obviously stacked towards the denizens of Delve. But this converted the mined value into a US dollars value. And stacked up this way, Domain and Fountain had about $16,000 in mining completed. Esoteria with $28,000, Aquarius with $34,500, and Delve, they do some mining in Delve, $165,000 worth of ore mined. Yep, Delve is a growing economy. Probably outproducing some cities.
Well, it's officially outproducing HiSec now.
Well, I mean, when you've got it on lockdown like it is down there, I mean, there's no reason not to.
Oh,
Alright,
yeah.
so live breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Oveg Treg, is that his name? Oveg, whatever that guy's name is in Uli. He is not in local, so I'm assuming that he must have docked and is gone night. So there's no more Triglavian. Is that how you say it? Triglavian cruiser in Uli.
You sure? He was out yesterday.
I'm literally there right now. You can see it on the screen.
There's multiple stations there.
Yeah, but he's not in local.
Oh, he can be in space, but not in local.
Oh, because the bug. That's right, the bug's got him too.
The character who's been playing Omer Durst is a ISD member, so obviously the ISD is a volunteer-based organization and won't be on all the time.
The ability to resist not using that doomsday weapon, I give them so much credit for that.
But yeah, we saw off the top, or you can see through the discourse, a video featuring that interesting revelation this week. This coming on the back of the discourse cracking the code, essentially, and finding out a whole bunch of new information.
They did, yeah. They in-game the Arikata Research Consortium. They cracked the code, and there was a good section of video prior to the ship coming into Uli that kind of showed almost like a distress beacon type of situation going on. That showed a lot of battle scenes, but it's very interesting the way that this is all unfolding. So I actually streamed on Sunday a good 2 hours almost, just sitting there, floating around in Uli, looking at the ship from different angles, and people were launching fireworks at it, and just kind of chatting about it, wondering what it was, and when's the last time something like this has happened. So very interesting Very interesting indeed.
I stopped by to scan it with a cargo scanner and a ship scanner to see if there was any features that were potentially missing.
Nope, none of that.
Neither.
Could not scan it, could not Entosis link it, nothing. There was nothing you could see besides it was almost like a crispy marshmallow.
Yes, it was 100% damaged. Like, fully max armor, max hull gone, no shield, interestingly.
It'd be a shame if somebody popped it.
Well, yeah, I guess. Or it could be wreckage, or... The story goes so far, it's under quarantine, being held outside the dead facility. When you look at Oran Durst, the character who's sitting in the Travangian Collective cruiser, he is a former Caldari Navy pilot who then joined the Mortis Angels and now currently works for the Dead Enforcement.
Yeah, that was a very interesting employment history that guy had.
For sure. So this is one of the 3 models that we've seen on HoloLeaks and through the videos that the Antaka Research Consortium has revealed through killing the damaged drifter fleets and receiving the trinary data relic, trinary data vaults.
Indeed.
Although there was quite a struggle for them to complete that last riddle. They were struggling.
Yeah, they were saying they were really surprised they actually managed to solve it. Like they weren't expecting it to solve it as fast as they did.
I don't think I could have solved really any of them because I'm not as smart as those guys.
So if you're not relevant or you don't realize what they've been working on this triangular shaped letter language that has like numbers and colons and backslashes and other parts to write out sentences. So they had to figure out all the letters and all the common use letters and eventually crack the code. And then they had to crack all of these different videos that were slowly bled out through the multiple days of the fleets spawning in HiSec mostly.
Yeah, you know what that actually could have something to do with? I don't know if you're tracking this. If you may or may not have logged into your EVE Online launcher / client today, there was something new and interesting in the bottom right hand corner of it called Space. Has anybody seen this? It's not on updates.eveonline.com right now, but you can click on the link to it. I'll provide that link in just a second. But it's something called Space, which is Spaceship Pilot and Capsular Essentials. Kind of interesting. This is coming in right as this new ship is coming in, about to roll into Fanfest. So of course there's going to be an event that's happening, coinciding with all this funness. Do you guys think this has anything to do with that?
I'm thinking pessimistically that this is an event just run around FanFest and to give players something to do in space and maybe to log in, realize that there's a special event, and then maybe catch on that the FanFest stream is going on to follow along.
Maybe that'd be great. As always, I hope that they integrate FanFest and the in online world accordingly. But anyways, yeah, let me talk a little bit about this space thing. So like I said, Spaceship Pilot and Capsular Essentials. It's going to be an event that all capsulators can take part of. A wide variety of challenges across many disciplines such as bounty hunting, mining, and will help you hone these skills. Exclusive rewards include cerebral accelerators and a ship skin bundle featuring red versus blue, apotheosis, and sunesis skins. So that's a nice little way to bring in some of the outside gamer meta. Red versus blue, which of course is an alliance that does a little, you versus me, little match.
RVB, pretty. They're kind of the originators of Gank, are they not?
Yeah. So you got that. Then during this, new spaceship pilots and seasoned capsulars everywhere get to earn extra special awards for honing their skills when it comes to the essentials, while at the same time bringing their quality and knowledge to the Galactic Society of New Eden. The rewards include those skins and equipping you for an exciting future event where you'll need to pick a side.
That's exciting.
So access these in the agency tab in the game, then decide what activity you're going to undertake. Bounty hunting or mining. Finally set a course and start racking up those agency points for any objectives completed, eventually unlocking further rewards with your gathered points. So that actually does, if you're picking sides.
That sounds like an exciting way to test to see whether or not they can actually have a versus event and how it'll play out before they start applying like a faction to each side. So we have like more sizable chunked lore results.
That sounds like a forced PvP, and I like it.
Well, PvE VP.
Kind of like Guild Wars has world or guild versus world, something like that. World versus, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Other games have it where you can have your alliance fight another alliance, and it affects that particular world setting.
Yeah.
That.
Well, there was the events a couple years ago where you could contribute items to an NPC, and that would rack up points for the 4 different factions to see which one got their T3 cruiser first.
I doth remember this.
Yeah, it was in the run up to like getting all the T3 destroyers, and you could turn in whatever the item was. Mimitar 1. And Amar was second. No, Amar 1 and Mimitar was second, I think.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get the Hecate forever.
Yeah, I know. I was so salty about that. Oh, really? The Hecate comes last. I'll keep going with the Hecate.
Well, we got more on the Travangians we're going to cover in the Fanfest stuff.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's about all we had of the news-ish type of scenarios going on. But I know Orion was so excited to talk about what's going on in the combat world of New Eden, so we have Orion's Combat Corner.
Oh, well, really, drone regions has been kind of a crazy place right now. You know, over the past day, XDeath and their allies have lost 3 supers and 1 Titan to Skill Yourself, Volta, combination with Unspoken and whatnot. I'll link those here shortly, but it seems like the DRF are kind of faltering. There hasn't been a lot of support from Test or Horde on their side, so unless they get some external help from one of these larger entities, I'm not sure how they're gonna shape up over the next couple months. They've been saying they're going to kick out all these entities within certain time frames. It's just not working. There's rumors of certain DCU alliances that are already making moves to get out of the area. So it just seems like those little areas where Volta and Unspoken have been hanging out are really putting the hammer home. You have groups like the Prothean Alliance, who are another Russian group who are time zone taking their stuff and still kind of holding on in the Ethereum Reach area. But as it stands, like we had a 4-Zar timer in Hull that we defended with the help of Great Wall Alliance Coalition. They showed up and helped us fight out Test Gokus, and it looks like XDeath are fielding Eagles as well now. So we won that timer. So it just seems like XDeath aren't they're not in full swing. They're not really getting everyone involved like they were before to help save a lot of stuff. I think it's just a lot of war weariness on their end.
What do you think some of that might have to do with guys like big alliance leaders who happen to be in Iceland right now? Is that like, does the Fanfest travel and all that have to do with any of these things that usually happen around this time?
I'm not sure from the XDeath side. I don't know if any of their leaders go up to Iceland for that. I can't speak to that, but I don't think it's that. It's a lot of these smaller alliances, especially from the DC, who are fronting a lot of these secondary fleets and stuff like that to hold the line, are just getting browbeat in the ground by Skill Yourself and them.
Well, Skill Yourself are very aggressive with their supers, and they're willing to drop it on small to medium-sized targets with pretty much impunity, and they're quality pilots. They're no slouches, so it's quite hard to fight against them as we experienced over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to speak to Iron's side of it. I know there was a contract and whatnot, but I don't, I don't know how much went on with that. I just know from our side of it, from Triumvirate side, looking at the things that are going on there and what we've been dealing with, it just doesn't seem like the DCU has it together right now. I don't think it's the deal with Fanfest. I think it's more of a war weariness and just people not wanting to get in the fleets lately.
Well, I mean, I'm a biased opinion, but I think Iron did a pretty good job of completing the details of our contract, and our guys were quite active. We have a quite active corp by number of members as it is, and we did a pretty good job of being there for the timers and getting ready to fight the fights. But our allies, our contractors, were less than up to the challenge of fighting such an experienced group. We fought No Fun, which is a core member of Skill Yourself, several times through Wicked Creek and through a couple other combats. They are very challenging to fight, and they're no slouches. So,
Yeah, no ill will to Iron. I know you guys really were on a bad end of the stick there, because they don't have much to shoot at up there if the DRF aren't doing nothing. But as soon as the DCU form, they're on it.
I got to fly a rock, though. That was nice.
A what?
A roke.
A rock.
That was the very first time, I believe, correct?
I believe the
First
rock
time.
is what you smell cooking.
Mine did not die. Several died when we got super dropped on us. Mine did not die.
Don't feel bad. The first time I hopped in one for a fleet, we got bombed to death.
Reap.
But that's the drone regions area. A bit of interesting things to come, I think, in the future with that, and see how things shake out. I think what it boils down to is Horde and Test, or some other group outside of those two, are going to have to come in there and shore up the defenses, or the DRF are looking at some major fallbacks. Now, moving on, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy are getting quasi-invaded or full-on invaded. I have to look up the news, but it looks like...
I mean, when are they not being invaded by the Imperium? It seems like there's always keep stars and Fortizars just popping up like just termites all up in there.
Well, I imagine Commander Hayes could probably talk on this a little bit better than I can in certain regards, but they've always been poking within Cloud Ring and whatnot. Once Fountain was conquered and TC left as that buffer area for that, and they've always been kind of bantering back and forth within that keep star stuff and whatnot with Horde. Now that Horde's left, there's no buffer there at all for Guardians of the Galaxy, so Goon, Sigs, and Fleet have been going up there consistently harassing Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course, there's some posts on Reddit and whatnot. You watched as Curse, as Space Violence left there, and they went back to Delve, and now have moved back up towards Pureblind area to harass Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think it's a full-on invasion nowadays. Is that true?
Not that I know of. Right now, so what most people don't know is Fountain has a superhighway across it. So getting from 1DQ through Fountain all the way into Pureblind is about
3 minutes
at most. It's a pretty short jog up there, and you're relatively gonna get content every time. So I don't know that they're invading, at least not to my knowledge. But I do know that we actively seek content in the area and aim to misbehave up there.
Come on,
I know,
VFK by
Initiatives
Christmas.
up there as well. Another big thing that was really only noted within the Imperium was we were able to free a bunch of Supers, Titans, and stuff that have been stuck in the north for a significant amount of time since World War B.
Are these the legendary 93 PI ones?
I believe so. We successfully exfilled all of those, the ones that still play out of the north. So I can't tell you where they went from there, but I would assume many of them made their way into Fountain and or Delve.
Straight to ratting.
Straight.
It is the best money in Eve.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of banter back and forth between Riot Rick, Asher, and Amazing Jay Amazing and whatnot. Doing the little BR banters back and forth. So we'll see how far they push it. I mean, I know they've been anchoring Citadels off of their Keepstar, I believe. So we'll see if I think the real test of it is if they go all in on the Keepstar and make a play for it. I don't know if they will, just because I don't think they want to do something like that and then draw PL and NC dot up there and then create a kind of another situation like with the Horde Keepstar.
Yeah, I don't know that we're super keen to pull the entire Super Cap fleet out of Delve for any extended engagement, unless it's highly necessary. Mainly because the last time we did lose a significant volume of ships due to the lack of our Super Cap umbrella. And it's very difficult to train newbies that the safety net can be turned off by us moving stuff away.
Yeah, I don't think really you guys have to. I think it's a fun little thing you guys can do by forcing Guardians to the Galaxy to either bat phone the world to stop your dreads and your fleets that you're doing right now. I think if you do deploy supers, it would change the dynamic quite a bit. I think
It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a full-scale capital invasion. Because I mean, we have easily the largest capital fleet in the game, even if we don't move our supers. And I think that would be, if we were going to do it, I think that would be the way that we do it. Now, I'm not part of the Sky team, so I don't make that decision.
and I think we're all seeing kind of Riot Rick kind of get the focus on him a lot because we haven't heard a lot out of Sort Dragon. I think I remember seeing somewhere he was going to be taking a kind of a step back a little bit from everything. I believe he's still doing his thing, I believe, but I think he said somewhere he was taking a step back. I'm not sure. So it's kind of fallen to Riot Rick to rally the forces of Guardians of the Galaxy up there.
Yeah, I'm not in GOTG anymore, but yeah, you are. From what I understand, you are correct that Riot Rick has taken a more active role.
Yeah, and I think everyone can kind of agree. Like most people kind of like Riot Rick more. Like he's more personable, I guess, or just he's the one who kind of gets the fights and has fun with the
Yeah,
procure stuff.
and he was actually the one who had a little more sense in his head when that kind of whole drama went down a few months back or a few weeks back, whenever it was, with that goober who wanted to cause drama in our Discord. It kind of got me banned from any GOTG services, darkness services, and Riot Rick was the really one who came to bat and was like, "Look, man, this guy didn't do anything. He has a podcast, and some weirdo wanted to come on there and do some weirdo stuff." So I like Rick. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I flew with Rick a few times in Inspector fleets. He's a pretty
Yeah.
good dude. I know Sort has a way of kind of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, things are definitely still alive and well in Eve Online and New Eden. So I'm not too worried for the future. I know I was worried a few months back, but I think we're on the right track. Speaking of where things are going, do you guys want to move along into the topic? This is a topic. Oh yeah, cover your little bit of things. Oh, with that thing. Nerdery. I didn't know this was a lifestyle choice. Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. Oh, hold on, Meredith. For some reason, all my audio just stopped, and nobody can hear anybody but me. I don't know what's going on here. Oh boy. No, I didn't touch anything. Boy. I wouldn't even know what to do here. All right, say something.
Hello?
Okay, I saw the thing moving there.
So can you guys hear me now?
I see the audio thing moving.
Please get confirmation from chat here.
That was weird. That was totally weird. Okay,
Bofa says it works.
Bofa, where'd we cut off there?
Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick overview.
Do
So
it.
Eve, D&D style game. D&D kind of rules as far as a DM running missions and campaign style stuff with a dice version tabletop style combat system. So I'm working through this rule set right now. I've got a bunch of stuff built out. I've got like a armor class style mobility scheme for defense, dice for damage based on a number of weapons. I'm pulling a ton of the IP directly from the game, so I'm not wasting a whole lot of time theory crafting out new modules or new effects. I'm using straight IP from the game. So like a Rifter has 3 high slots, 4 mids, and 3 lows. So I can fit ships by those standards, and I'm trying that out for now. I think I'm going to go down the path of having cards for modules, and those cards would form a deck of modules that you'd be able to build your ship for each mission. And then as you die out on a mission or in a PvP combat with one of your other players, you would lose all your shit, and some of the shit would drop, and your friends could pick it up if they could hold the field, or otherwise you just lose your shit because it's Eve, right?
I digs.
And then I'm thinking of having like skill sheets similar to D&D style skill sheets that are your skill points. So if after you complete a mission you kill enough guys, I'm going to probably go with a kill based EXP similar to D&D, and then you can apply it to different frigate level or small guns or turret tracking. And then when you jump in your new ship for that mission, say you're taking out a breacher for that mission, you would apply all your skills before the mission started, so it wouldn't be too complex while you're playing the game to, be a pilot as part of a fleet running a mission. So that's what I'm working on. I've got a bunch of rules already built out. I'm going to continue working on it as my little side project. And my biggest challenge I'm working on right now is movement. So if you are very familiar with the Star Wars Armada game style or any other tabletop games that use like a very granular movement system, I would love your help to kind of brainstorm some ideas as how to make it so you can move to a different range and still have it make sense on a reasonably sized table. Otherwise, 1-inch squares, you're going to get a big fucking playfield if you want a 200 km range.
Yeah, have you ever seen those things where you can like take a projector and project it down on the table, and you can connect it to like a, like some sort of web browser source that actually puts an environment down for that?
I've heard of it. I've seen the rear projection from the bottom
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, those are nice. And I apologize for my cat. He's just all over this fucking table.
So yeah, I'm working on that. So if you are a big D&D nerd or you'd like to have your hands on making this a thing, I'm gonna build it out and play test it with some friends, and then once it's good enough, I'll release it to the community here in Mindclash first, and if it gets good reception, I'll push it out to the rest of the EVE community, and we can have fun with it.
That'd be cool. You know, I was actually thinking about doing a EVE Online style Cards Against Humanity, so we might have to get together on this one.
Sounds like a podcast itself.
I know, right?
Bunch of guests, do a bunch of Cards Against Humanity, show our cards online.
I'm down.
Have the audience play a pool of cards.
Oh dear God, no. It's gonna be bad enough with us.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be so good.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the things that makes Eve great. Is just little things like you're going to do right there, and something like Hale mentioned. It's Eve is and I think that's part of the reason why Eve has been such a good game, and then why people get so into it. You know,
my total plan is just to get more people in through an easier to understand game style.
So this is just a long con for Iron recruitment. Is that what you're saying?
It's a long con for me to have more real life friends that play the game I love.
Oh. Well, you know what you can do with those real life friends whom you share and love a game with? You can go to Fanfest.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Wouldn't that be nice? God, I would love to. I don't know why I didn't do that while I was living in Europe. Come on.
My hope is with this new job, I'll be able to go to Vegas, if nothing else.
Vegas, also good times.
I'm hoping that this year's disaster season is a little bit more forgiving than last year's, and that I'll actually be able to make it to Vegas this year.
Or the disaster be regional to the Las Vegas area in that time frame.
Yes. If something major happens in Vegas, that would be terrible for the locals.
Hi, Ace. Meredith here. Yeah, you might have known me. If you didn't know, I'm a biologist in real life when I am not flying spaceships. It's not going to get better. That is all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, woe is me.
For those that don't know, my real life job is a emergency management specialist, and I do disaster response. So, last year I didn't make Vegas due to the hurricane season here in the United States, and I'm currently back in Texas at my protest.
Isn't the weather here right now just so crazy?
Dude, can't make up its freaking mind.
It was 30 degrees on Saturday. Like, I was freezing my balls off.
Yeah.
It snowed this weekend over here.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But my original plan was actually to be at Fanfest this year, and then they were like, hey, we need you to go to Texas again for a little bit. So, back in Texas for this week.
Well, welcome to my motherland.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's warmer than where I live, so.
Yeah, but I definitely wish I could be at FanFest. A lot of people are starting to arrive there in Reykjavik, Iceland, right now as we speak, and over the past day or so, I know Sort Dragon is there. A lot of people from the Arikata Research Consortium are there, getting ready for some of their It Lore event things that are happening there. God, there's a ton of people that you and I all know that are starting to roll into Reykjavik, Iceland, in preparation of the FanFest. There actually was a mega blog, an Eve FanFest mega blog. I will post that up real quick.
Yeah, I
For
expect.
those traveling later in the week that don't know this, I believe there's a public transit strike in Germany. So if you're a European person and
Of
your
course.
flights are through, I think it's Frankfurt that's having the problem.
Of course.
Be wary and pay attention to your destination and connecting flights.
So have your FC set an alternate destination. Gotcha.
Have backup plans, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so I posted the link to the Eve FanFest 2018 mega blog. Also, Merdad posted the schedule, which, as we all know, is usually quite interesting. Do we want to go over that? Is that something we should talk about?
Yes.
Let's go ahead, start it up.
Thursday, April 10th or April 12th at 11 UTC Eve time.
That's this Thursday. We're talking a couple days, ladies and gents.
This Thursday. Opening ceremonies. CCP Guard hosting it. Probably some player presenters. They're going to cover the last year in Eve. New feature for this year's FanFest, Eve Prov,
Yeah.
a space satirical.
Yeah, they're gonna have some improv actors and actresses out there who are gonna just reenact. What is it? They're gonna reenact some of the greater moments in the Eve Online history.
Yeah, the great battles.
All the good ones.
The death of Jamil, probably.
Ooh, jam those jugs, baby.
Then we got Empires of Eve with Andrew Groen. The author will be presenting on his book. If you don't know him already, if you haven't read the book already, come on, seriously.
Yeah, he's done really good as far as sales goes. I think he's basically sold out and had to reprint some. Yeah.
Yeah, and the audiobook has really done really well, which is a recent addition to his lineup. And then at 1700 UTC, clear your schedule. It's the Eve Online keynote. We got CCB Burger, CCB Falcon, Hilmar, CCB Rise, CCB Seagull, back from maternity leave maybe, or just stopping in to give us the full keynote. What's coming, what the big changes are, what's past, and setting the scene for an exciting weekend of roundtables and features. Friday, 1100 UTC. Starts all back up again.
Yeah, so I see you got not you, but there's the Stream Fleet written on there. Is that the Stream Fleet meet, or is that like another? That's player content, right?
It is a player session about Streamfleet.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the 12 o'clock session, which is the Triglavian domain. CCP Burger is going to be talking about all the things Triglavian. So that ship that was out here in Ulai, not just that one, but the small, medium, and large versions, and the race. Who are these Triglavians? What are we going to be doing with them in the EVE Online, and how are we going to interact with them in New Eden? So that'll be neato.
Hype.
Yeah.
There are 3 sessions on the Triglavians.
Yeah, totally stoked. It's going to be interesting. So they have the Triglavian domain, then the round table. What's the third one there?
The art of the Triglavian.
Ooh, the art. Which the art is not. I don't like the large one. Does anybody else not like the large one?
It seems like they get stubbier but bigger.
Yeah, it reminded me of like it was like a blaster you would see like on Halo 1. The first one, like 2003 and shit.
I think it'd be interesting. And again, this is these new ships coming out. I'm hoping we'll hear more about the new capitals they mentioned a while ago.
Oh, the Angels.
Yeah, the angel
those are
cat.
so sexy. Yeah, so after that, they're going to have the improving content creation via live events. As you might have noticed, CCP's been kind of ramping up their live event repertoire, or their whole drawer of tricks. So hopefully that's going to start getting more involved as we move along through this.
So I think live events, they mean like the agency events.
Right? Yeah. That's what I mean. Like the agency, the Guardians Gala, drone, blah blah blah, or whatever it was called.
Rogue drone.
Rogue drone event.
Swarm.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Sorry, I need to hype a little bit more about the Trigravians. There's a potential these are player flyable ships. There's a potential that this comes with new guns and weapons. They might have a super weapon. There is a potential that there's a new region of space through a Stargate based on what the ARC guys have found in the videos. Trinary stars, fucking new regions of space. Prepare your butts.
So I don't want to cancel out the hype, but for anybody who's been watching Arth and Innominate talk on any of the podcasts they've been on recently, there seems to be a feeling from the CSM that the player base might not like all of the changes. At least they've alluded to it. So this could be interesting.
Their constituency or the greater constituency?
The greater constituency, because I believe Sort has come out saying the same thing. And when Arth and Sort agree on something, then I tend to panic.
Tomfoolery.
Now you're making me worried.
Maybe they're just messing with us, and that is something that I believe Arth would totally do.
It's definitely an Aerith thing to do.
Yes, Aerith. So, he, I wouldn't put him past it to do that. I wouldn't put the entire CSM past him to do that, because there are some cheeky people on there.
1300 Friday ships and modules with CCP Rise, as expected. Some nice balance changes of the past. Maybe he'll tease some new balance changes coming up into the future. Maybe some rebalances for some underappreciated classes. I'm sure there will be some angry nerds talking about the monitor.
Yeah, screw that shit.
1400, we have a day in the life of CCP operations with CCP denormalized. And then a little things roundtable with CCP Karker, and then the Triglavian domain roundtable. So it'll be busy if you're there live. Choose one of those three adventures.
It sounds like a definitely build your own adventure type of deal. Yeah, so that was 1400. 1500 is the game design panel with, let's see, game design team? Who's the game design team? Something, is that Glitter something or other?
It's like all the major teams, isn't it?
I don't know, it doesn't say. So, who knows? The game design team? Question mark?
It's the people who aren't at the Project Foundation roundtable.
Yeah, at the same time, which is that the Project Foundation, which debuted as Eve Vegas under its previous name of Project Aurora. So that was that mobile phone game, which was literally identical to 78.9% of all the other turn-based top-down like space mobile games. So, but hey, good for them.
I would like to see more of that project. I've been very impressed with
I'll throw you a couple links of some other games you can play that are literally identical, so you'll be fully immersed. Fully immersed.
I just want pure Eve IP. Don't sully me with these other IPs.
No, I'm telling you, there was a game I played about 3 years ago, back when I was stationed in Germany, that was, from what I saw of the clips of that, was identical to this game that I spent a good pretty penny on there, like $50 or $60 worth of microtransactions for this fucking game. I think it was like called was it Galaxy at War? I think so.
But I've been really enjoying the PUBG mobile version, which I was recently introduced to. I'm not a PUBG player on PC, but I've tried out this PUBG mobile. It's quite amazing how much playability they've got out of the mobile platform in that game. fuck, it heats your phone up a lot. But yeah, it's a lot of power.
I love hot phones.
I think it's particularly interesting that it's easier to play on mobile than it is on Xbox, and you get a heck of a lot better quality.
Lols. Fucking Xbox.
Lazy brings up a good point. There was a lot of people like trying to motion to make PI a mobile thing.
Oh god, I wish that was a thing. So I'd definitely go Omega for that.
Just remove PI. We just don't need PI anymore.
I would finally have something to do on my phone at work.
Yeah, because
Sitting in a meeting, fixing your PI would be great.
I'm sure there'd be an uproar about it, but you could add your microtransaction stuff for it. You could add you can do the normal PI stuff with it, or you could expedite it for whatever plex. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know people are probably grabbing pitchforks and torches as I speak this, but something like that isn't out of the realm of possibility, I wouldn't think.
Quakesy just wants Eve for mobile so he can spin his ships on the phone. 1600. This is, I'm assuming, the peak time for Eve nerds to recover from their previous night's hangovers. And we have 4 sessions to choose from. If you are there live, we have the Project Discovery Roundtable. We have a Wormholes Roundtable. This one probably doesn't exist. We have a Building a Community that Joseph Barnacle Sullivan, hoster of the Eve Dublin meetup, will be hosting. And then the 4th one is a history of and legacy of Eve's fleet commanders by some guy named Elise Randolph. You might know something about that.
Never heard of her.
Something boundary violation.
Yeah, definitely AT professional. So that is 1600. 1700, we have Low-Sec and Faction Warfare Roundtable. And then Scratch to Empire by ExoKits. CSM candidate for this year. He'll be giving a talk. I forget what he does in game.
I believe he has wormholes, correct?
I believe so. I think he's scary wormhole people, if I remember right.
Yes, all wormholes are scary wormhole people.
Yes.
We
Yes,
here in the
they
Mind
are.
Clash podcast do not believe in wormholes or their existence.
Figments of the imagination.
And those are the last sessions that we'll be experiencing from a distance through the stream fleet, as CCP games will be available all day for players live to play. And then everyone goes and grabs their flags and their drinking mugs and off to the pub crawl for that evening. Rip to those livers.
God, yeah, I can't even imagine. Although, I don't think I'd be buying very much alcohol there because that's pricey stuff.
I think CCP's in a just let it flow kind of state right now.
Wasn't there a post of how much alcohol I believe CCP guard or someone was sitting on?
A flat?
Butt ton, I believe they call it. A metric
It's like 2 butt tons.
At least. That was just Saturday? What's happening on
That was Friday.
Oh my god, there's another day of it, Merdud?
That was me losing all of my productivity at work as I watched all those panels.
I'm totally with you there, man.
Saturday, I'll actually have some time sitting at home to watch, starting at 11, the Game Masters Roundtable, the live concept art, and the Market Roundtable. Then from the players, we'll get a game of holes, year 9.
When is that tournament supposed to be going on? Is that during this? I know there was supposed to be a tournament going on, some sort of like 100 and something person match put on by the Eventee Duders. Am I incorrect? I know I'm correct. I feel in my heart that I'm correct.
I think you're correct. I don't know if it's part of the official schedule.
But yeah, there was
the Caldari Cup thing.
Yes. Yeah.
I believe we'll have to try to work it out, but we can probably get some more information
I'm gonna
as well from Bay Art J. I know he's going to be a big part of that. Who also, I believe, is running for CSM. He is.
He very much so is.
Yeah, okay, let's not forget. I don't know when this is going to be, but if you go to Eventi's website right now, it looks like the Caldari Corporation Cup is a fast-paced knockout tournament located at the Harpa, so that is at Reykjavik, with spaces for up to 96 players. The format of the matches will be roughly based on the popular tournament hosted by Eventi at their Nottingham meets. The key differences of the tournament structure will have a Caldari theme and will be flexible for attendees to sign up and engage with. We'll also be moving to a 3x3 or 3 versus 3 format. Yes, I don't know when that is, but that is going to be physically there, is it not? Yeah, it's during when you collect your Fanfest pass, you can register.
That is exciting.
Very exciting. You can win a NVIDIA GTX 1080 graphics card and a Razer mechanical keyboard for the second place, and the CCP will be adding the Plex. You get 5 microplex if you win.
It's just 5?
Just 5? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is, but you get like tiny little amounts. You get 99 cents worth for that dank skin you've been wanting.
So yeah, 2 player presentations, beginning of Saturday, right when everyone's hungover. ExoKits is back with his Game of Holes presentation, and in front of the show, Makoto Priano will be giving the Jovian Riddle.
Yeah, that's definitely. So if you're interested in the Jove, the Drifters, the Sleepers, the Triglavians, and the time dilation devices, or whatever the hell we're calling these things right now, Makoto Priano, he's going to have all that fun infos.
I bet you he has 10 slides open for Trivagians. Just like, I'll fill this in after the keynote. 1200, Introduction to the Art Pipeline, and the Tournament Roundtable. And then a player presentation from Baltec, the originator of the Baltec fleet, the Megatron fleet that was popular among the Imperium for a long time. He's now, I think, at PL. He's doing a presentation on Safari. 1300, we have the Operations Roundtable and the Structures presentation from CCB Fozzie. Let's hope there's Stargates in there. 1400, personal friend of mine through the Vancouver Eve meetup, CCB Snowed In, is giving a presentation on his ESI, which is the replacement for the API. He's flying up from here to go there. I'm glad he got his ticket organized. Then we have a Streamers Roundtable, CCB Falcon, CCB Guard hosting that one. We got a Structures Roundtable, Fozzie taking all the hard questions. And then that Art of the Travangian Collective from the art team at 1400. 1500. One of my favorites to go to when I'm at an EVE event, the Lore Roundtable, so I can listen to nerds be nerdier than I am. Then the Nullsec and Sovereignty Roundtable, where 20 nerds complain about interdiction nullification for half an hour. No, maybe most of that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
1600, we have a ESI and third-party developer roundtable. I'm assuming CCP Snowden will be there. UX UI roundtable. This will be the chance to complain about those chat windows, chat bubbles, which are gone. And 1600, the famous, the one, the only Jintan will be giving a presentation on the spheres of influence. This is his YouTube sensational fiction brought to the live event.
It's Gin Talks Live. I like Gin Talks. Gin Talks always, it's a very nice, quippy few minutes. You can spin your brain up on the EVE Online meta. When you don't know what's going on, he will let you know all the things you should know.
Sometimes you just hope your alliance gets mentioned.
Yeah, like Tappy.
Tappy.
Tippy Tappy.
Flappy, flappy, here comes Tappy.
1700, an interesting roundtable, Fanfest roundtable. This is with CCP Falcon and CCP Curtis. I think this is to cover the changing face of EVE Fanfest for 2019, which they announced at Vegas will be split into 4 worldwide events instead of one large event in Reykjavik.
So we're gonna have Reykjavik, Vegas.
Nope, no Reykjavik.
Oh, that's right. No Reykjavik. It's gonna be Vegas,
London,
Australia,
Deep Down Under.
and but an unannounced 4th.
Perhaps it'll be announced at FanFest this year.
Perhaps it won't be in Texas.
I'm thinking Florida.
Oh, that'd be-
The smart
I would do
thing
it.
would be a roving one, I would think.
Ooh, like a fucking party bus.
Well, I don't know about party bus, but just like every year or so they pick another location, or a fairly large location, be it Europe, States, or wherever. It'd be nice probably for the Russian players if they would have an event over in Russia, if that's something they could do, or even the China, especially if that was something they could do. That'd be.
Hey, let's just have an EVE Afghanistan while we're at it.
Hey, there may be some players there. Don't hate them.
I know there is. I've been there.
The reasoning behind this roaming split up FanFest is that the CCP offices are going to be receiving renovations in 2018, so they needed to distract us all while they get that all done.
Will they do their magic?
I'm just thinking about an EVE Afghanistan meetup, and
Yeah.
thinking
I mean,
that is
no,
just a
there kinda
fantastic
was.
way to end up on a watch list.
No, I mean, there kind of was, because I had a bunch of guys who would just like come over to my tent and just like, hey, let's play. Let me show me how to play this game. So there was a quasi version of that.
That takes security mission to a whole nother level.
Yeah. That sounds dope. I mean, I'm excited. I was very skeptical, basically from last year's EVE Vegas, which I coined as the live dev blog reading, which it kind of was. They didn't tell us anything we didn't already know, but I've got super hopes, and we see the Triglavian things. We've got all the live events or the agency events that have been going on. I'm excited, guys. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and there's just one last player presentation. That's the third-party developers' perspectives at 1700, and then closing ceremonies at CSP Guard Saturday at 1800.
Yeah.
That's it. FanFest 2018. Looking forward to it.
That's it. That's all it is, folks. Yeah, I'm totally stoked. What I know, Murdad, you said that one of the things you're looking forward to is the hope of some player-generated Stargates.
I'm looking forward to the Travangian collective storyline. I think that could be interesting new PvE, along with some cool new exploration stuff. Considering the popularity of exploration within the game, the lack of iteration on the exploration minigames through Data Relic or any other stuff, since we got the sleeper sites, there's really opportunity there that they could explore.
Yeah, there's that's definitely something that needs to be iterated on, but I agree. I hope and I believe that there's going to be a lot more iterations going on in the future as far as PvE, exploration, some of this lore aspect. I think hopefully once they did, I didn't even see anything on the project. What's the project with first person shooter?
Nova?
Project Nova.
Project Nova, is that? That's not dead, is it?
Well,
There is
considering
no-
we were promised news last year FanFest, and then we were told by Hilmar news is coming shortly.
Listen,
So
don't listen to anything
a
that
year
guy says.
later,
No,
maybe
no. Like
we'll
I said,
hear-
like I said a few weeks back, I actually got an email from CCP with a a survey asking about that. So I don't think it's a dead project.
And I believe they have another studio that's developing the game. It's just probably taking a bit longer than they initially hoped.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to incorporate a lot of things. It's got to be innovative. So I can't imagine it's an easy process. But I don't think if we don't hear anything this year, I wouldn't. I wouldn't worry about it until we actually get something more like Halo gets something else. You know what I mean?
So you're saying don't go run out and buy like an Xbox 360 in hopes that they port it, right?
I mean, because the first-person shooter genre is flooded with stuff right now.
God.
You know, you've got your non-traditional ones, your battle royale kind of first-person shooter kind of stuff that's out there now, or third-person over top, whatever you want to call them. So there's a lot that I imagine they're having to develop on or try to work in to make it something that's going to be worth buying.
True. And just make it free to play, you know?
I'm sure it'll be microtransactions like crazy.
If you don't, you're crazy.
Yeah, because it'd be the only way to do it. Like, you can't. I don't think anyone would go out. Like, I know a bunch of us would. Not all of us, of course, would pay the normal $60 price tag for a console game that no one's ever heard about IP wise.
I would pay at most, even though I'm into the Eve lore, at $19.99. Otherwise, I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale.
For a shooter?
For an EVE Online shooter.
I think ideally it would be free to play,
right?
With just microtransactions that would likely be.
Oh, I'll play anything free to play. Are you kidding me?
Pretty expensive.
I'll play Gundam style online if it's free to play. I don't know.
I hope any project outside of the spaceship domain is a standalone product, even if it has EVE ties, that draws in a community from outside of the orbit of EVE Online. Because we need more people just notified that this is a fucking game that we can play. You know, it's 15 years old. There's no new trailers coming out for it, but like the game's still here. The community's still here. You still read about it on Kotaku and all the gaming magazines occasionally. Like, there's still shit going on, and it's not all bad, right?
It's not.
I think I'm with Merdad. I don't think you tie it to EVE per se, but like, you can create a way to where like whatever end game for it or something like that, you're hopping into a ship and popping into space in like, a battle cruiser from EVE, like a Brutix or something, just flying off into space from the Galente Federation, And people are like, hey, that's a thing, right?
There's so much art and IP. Why would they bother recreating the whole wheel again, right?
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, exactly.
So from the bottom, let's say what is like your number one thing that you're looking for, starting with Commander Ace?
Looking forward to, or
looking forward to, or like what is your hopes that comes out of this weekend?
Ooh, honestly, I just hope they don't break EVE. I have my number one fear is that the Travagian ships are going to have some kind of doomsday weapon that can kill Titans and just be scary as hell.
Yeah.
My hope is that we hear something more about Intel-based structures. But that's a pipe dream.
Yeah, I think that's probably a ways coming. But yeah, hopefully the Triglavian thing doesn't end up being what Drifter Incursions turned out to be, as opposed to what we wanted them to be a few years back.
Yeah, I do naturally fear anything that has the ability to kill the drifters more efficiently than I do.
Right, they fucked them up. Fucked them up.
Well, I mean, I don't know how well they managed to get away.
One Triglavian ship got away, and then you got these, fleets of 30 drifter ships that were fucked up. Anyway.
Got away, captured, stolen,
borrowed.
Sorry, I'm back.
All right, and then Ryan, what are you most hoping for / looking forward to out of Fanfest this weekend?
Really, it's just more information. I want to see what all comes out of this. Will we hear about the capitals at all? Will we hear I really want to hear more about these trig ships and how they're going to really affect things, and if it's going to broaden it as much as Murdud's kind of hyping up to.
It's gonna happen,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna cry.
So Murda, with that, what are you most hoping for / looking forward to?
I'm always looking for out of these big events. I'm always looking for the next. I'm always looking for where are we going, what are we gonna do, and how is that gonna look. I'm always looking forward, and I want to see what that's gonna be. Um, but I know how sheltered CCP has been about the roadmap and what's coming in the long term, while they still reach for parity. So I'd be happy to see some cool new art, new ship models, maybe some new playable ships, and more on the agency, which is probably my favorite part of the game right now.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Commander A's, I don't know if you caught up on that a few weeks back, but that fit you gave me did not work out so well.
I did say that
Yeah.
a passive tank ship probably wasn't going to be the best choice.
Yeah,
But
I think if I would have gone in there with more than just myself, like maybe 2 or 3 people, that might have been good to go because the DPS was not great, but the tank was good. And we're talking about the Guardians of the Gala event where I took in a Mauler. Well, no, yeah, first I took in a Mauler, and then I took in a Maulus. I believe
Augur Navy issue.
Augur Navy issue. So I took that in, and then discovered neither one of those working. So those events are getting hard. So I agree with Murdo. I like the progression of how they're getting, and it's not like before where you can just warp in, get your 3 cruisers, get a battleship. Here's your prize. It's not that. It's not that anymore.
I like them. I want to see them. I'm sure Murdo would agree. Be more lore. Like
Yeah.
I want these events to accumulate more to things.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's where this red versus blue test mechanic of versus content is going, because I think there's definitely opportunities there. This time you're working for the Mortis. This next time you're working for the Kaldari. This next time you're working for the Minmatar. There's a lot of opportunities there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think for me, I kind of agree with you, Murdud. I like the progression that CCP has been taking over the past few months, where it seems like they've truly shown like a genuine interest, and they really want us to stay here. So they're trying to get these events coming in. They're trying to add this lore, as you know. I mean, whether or not you want to sit there and go, oh, I'm not a RPer and I'm not a lore guy. The fact that it's there, it's giving you content, it's giving some people something to talk about, and it's adding something to our universe, whether you like it or not. Because this Triglavian thing might be that next step that we need to get those player created stargates. That it might be, maybe we're opening up a new section of the galaxy where we can go fight this new force, but also give us somewhere we can contest for space. So it's adding a layer and a layer of depth to the universe that I really like, and I hope CCP continues with that over the next few months or so. I hope that's what we get out of FanFest.
A new region of space with like wormhole connections or drifter hive connections where you could get BPCs for a new type of ship, and you need to harvest modules through 3VE sites from that region in order to build those modules and ships.
Yeah, for sure. There's a whole lot of different things we can go with that.
Real quick, I linked in Twitch chat Bay RJ's Twitter there. He's been posting things for Event and stuff like that. Event is offering players advertising space on our FanFest tournament stream. Adverts must be 15 seconds long. Guidelines are as per the brief CCP uses for AT, and he linked all that stuff in there. I linked that in there for Twitch chat. There's that stuff starting to get hyped. For anything AT wise, I barrel down on Nash and Bay RJ because these guys are heavily into that stuff, and they seem very hopeful. I know there was a lot of people worried about the AT, and with the changes within CCP about it may not happen. I think we don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And one little last disclaimer about the Travangians. I'm super hyped about them. I didn't get into this lore event as much as I wanted to because literally it was above my pay grade as far as decoding a language. But
Yeah, man. I couldn't do that, but I definitely watched it. I even showed my wife. I'm like, hey, look at this. Look at this thing that's happening right now. These players are doing this. They're deciphering this code and stuff. It's crazy.
yeah, I did the
Well, I
same
mean,
thing.
The Eve player base is, fairly smart player base. I mean, you kind of have to be able to get over numerous hurdles to play the game itself. So,
Not this guy.
that's why we did these exoplanet things and why they've kind of put these more intensive things. We're smart nerds out here that play this game.
Yeah. Faux show.
I mean, I can ID trees, but I can't decode a language.
Well, that's true.
I guess I can identify planets on a light spectrum, so there's that.
I can identify enemy vehicles and shoot them.
The only thing I want to hear from you, Kale, is me asking me for a shake and bake.
Just fire out. Anyways, so yeah, that's great. I think we all have some pretty strong opinions, and I think everyone that we've talked to over the past few days in the Mind Clash podcast Discord, as well as Twitter, and I've even been on the Tweet Fleet Slack a little bit, as well as I think about 30 or so different Discord channels that I've been on. Everyone is interested in what's going on and the topics surrounding EVE Online lately. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a good week.
Yeah, man.
That's the CCP live stream on Twitch. That's where you're going to catch all this content on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in their playback for the immediate days afterwards, and then expect us all on YouTube in a week or two after following.
Yeah. So, Murda, what could you do if you can't make it all the way to Iceland?
I would tune in there live. I'm sure they'll be giving away prizes. I'm sure they'll be giving away. They'll be doing some live event stuff, probably through the game. We might see more of the Ordan Durst character doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you can't make it to EVE Online, or excuse me, EVE Fanfest in Reykjavik, Iceland, and you still want to just go hang out with some nerds, I know there's some things you can do. Maybe not this weekend, but next weekend there's something in Charleston. It's the EVE Dixie Charleston Savannah meetup, is it not?
It is. If you're in that region, you can go check them out. They're going to be at the Stars Rooftop Bar and Grill, free to play, and just show up and hang out with some nerds.
Yeah, and just to forewarn you, if anybody comes up to you and they're like, "Oh yeah, I go to SCAD," just completely just ignore them altogether, because you don't want anything to do with that. That's the Savannah College of Art and Design. Nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm. There is the Vancouver monthly meetup on the 17th, Tuesday. Boss Pizza New West. You know where to find me. And then we got EVE Detroit on April 20th. This is at 18:30. This is at the Imperial. It's in Ferndale, Michigan. And you can check out these dates and all dates about EVE meetups on evemeet.net. Post your own. Join one that's already existing, or just reminisce about why you can't go to Australia.
Yeah, not only that, so let's see, you did that. Did you cover Des Moines? I wasn't paying attention.
I missed Des Moines.
You missed Des Moines. Des Moines
list.
is the fourth Friday. Houston, which is about 4 hours south of me. Probably wouldn't make it to that, but that's the 28th of April, and that's a monthly deal ski as well.
Yeah, if you got a monthly meetup that you'd like to advertise on the show, just hit us up and we'll add it to our list of shows to hang out at, our list of evenings to hang out at. So yeah, ping us with that and we will include it here.
Faux show. Let's see. I think it's all the meetups. Do we have any outing of the shouts that we want to talk about?
Oh, we missed a big thing.
Did we?
We did.
Oy.
We did. The leaks are real. They're so real.
What happened?
For those that don't know what I'm talking about, the official announcement of CSM campaign, in the kickoff for CSM campaigning, is going to start at Fanfest. However, we've been waiting very, very, very patiently for the list of candidates to come out, of who is actually approved to run.
This is true. This
Now,
is true.
somebody at CCP hit publish, and the CSM candidates page has been updated to this year's candidates.
Whoops.
So there are 48 listed there. One of them is withdrawing, so there will be 47, which is down from, I believe it was 62 that ran last year.
Yeah, that was quite a bit, including myself. Not this year, friends. But you know who is running? Commander A's.
This guy.
That guy is running, so you definitely you got the Mind Clash ticket for sure. That doesn't mean much, but you got it, man.
Anyone running for CSM, make sure you hit up myself or any of the hosts here and get into the Discord. We have a small form that we have you fill out about some random questions, nothing too intensive. And we plan on doing some debates and whatnot and just try to get you some FaceTime on the show, you know, that you may not otherwise get everywhere else. So feel free to hit us up and get in touch with us.
Mm-hmm. I believe Talking Stations is also planning to do interviews this year. So for those that take their campaigning seriously, if you haven't already been hitting up the podcast scene, then you're probably doing it wrong. This is coming from a guy who's run for the last 4.5 years. Just saying.
Good points. Good points.
There will still be many that don't get what I was saying.
No, I got you.
And they will not be getting votes.
Mm-hmm.
Screw them anyways.
Alright, real shoutouts this time. Real shoutouts. I got a hockey game I gotta go to.
Alright, so I guess I'll start. Shoutouts to my Corp, Sub-Zero, my Alliance, the Bastion, all my fellow neighbors in Delve, and anybody who is interested in voting for me for CSM for this year. This is gonna be the year, guys. CSM Commander A's this year. We can make it a thing.
This is
only
it.
with your help.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Shout out to all my drug makers and lethal injection. Triumvirate, Garst, welcome back to the house, my friend. And yeah.
Saw an excited new potential member for your drug cartel there.
Yeah, we got somebody in the Discord chat said him and his buddies were interested in all them drugs, eh?
First try is always free.
It's true. I actually used that line once, and I thought of you. I said, first beer, or the first taste is always free. It's because somebody wanted to know if I can sell them beer, which I can't do. That's illegal and against the law for me to do, but if you want to give me a discount, I can provide you with beer, but the first taste is always free. That was not my shout-out, by the way.
Shout out to my wife for pounding out all of the amazing dinners this week in advance. So we don't
What
barely
a
have to cook them.
champ.
She's amazing.
Mrs. Merdud, teach my wife a few lessons. I actually just picked up a George Foreman grill so we can make dinner tonight, you know what I'm saying?
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So,
And shout out to our corp. Not a bad deployment. I got a decent number of kills. Could do more. Could have better roams. More solo ships next time. More solo ships. That is it.
that's it. Good. So I got a couple different shout-outs. Number one, you may or may not remember a few weeks back. It might have even been a few months back. I'm not sure. We did a little spot on incursions as one of those the mini topics of things that I say. Oh, I want to try this thing in EVE Online. But I was kind of training up one of my alts to be able to fit some of their preferred fittings. The other day I went on to several different incursion sites. There's Warped, we've talked about them before, Warped to Me Incursions, the Titanian Fleet, USTZ, all kinds of stuff at whatever time zone you're in. But I found one, the Titanian Fleet, who just happened to be pretty close by, and they're like, hey, we're doing these astonishing incursions, and that's what I did. Of about an hour before we started doing the podcast live, I went and did my very first incursion, and in about 40 minutes, I made about 70 million ISK worth of just payouts. So if I would have gone for a whole hour, I probably would have made about 100 million. So I'm excited about that. I'm definitely gonna do some more incursions. So I want to thank the Titanian Fleet and Carisia, Kiirissa. I'm pretty sure that's like Mississippi, but not so much. But yeah, he was the FC, and it was pretty good time. I would recommend, if you want to make a few iskies, this is probably a good way to do it. Oh, also other shout out, King Voodoo. I got your shirt, baby. The Slice Alliance official T-shirt. I'm rocking it. Nice, fuck all you.
Without justification, I'm going to say Dirk did nothing wrong.
I don't know why we're talking about it. I think it's a non-issue. Dirk,
Yep, good.
Dirk is Dirk. Rain is Rain. We all love you. That is all.
Just felt like it had to be mentioned.
Nah. In levels of Dirk shenanigans, this was fairly low on the Dirka scale.
Sounded like a B plus maybe.
Yeah, maybe B minus. God bless them, everyone.
And it was the most aggressive agreeing with each other I've ever seen.
Right? You know what's funny is
Not a single one of them disagreed about the fundamental part of the conversation.
Hit the button.
I actually started watching that, but I got interrupted because I wanted to watch the Twitch versus Eve 2, which I didn't even know that was happening.
Advertising. It works sometimes.
Yeah, Twitch versus Eve 2 was a thing. So anyways, there we are. That was the shout outs. We're outed of the shouts. I'm Kel Decadence. That was Mirdud. We have Orion Solo and Commander A's. We're all four excited for the Eve Fanfest tournament coming up, or not the Eve Fanfest thing coming up this weekend, and we're raising the roof. I don't know what we're doing, Mirdud.
Getting those arm exercises in.
Gotta do it. You gotta do it somehow. All right, and also praise our new Triglavian overlords.
Please don't steal all my ISK.
Let's see if I can get these. You want me to get these credits rolling? I'm gonna see if I can get these credits rolling again. Let's do it. Doing the credits. I think if I can figure it out. Credits. Roll the credits. Here they are rolling. I'm rolling the credits. You can see them live on the screen. Now, oh goddamn, my ship's flying around everywhere. Followers, Angel Sky D, moderators, Moobot, credits. Thanks for supporting the stream, everyone. .com.